And welcome back to this cold, rainy day on the homestead. Woke up to 32 degrees this morning, but we did not get the frost they called for, so that was good. Didn't get quite as cold as I thought it would. I've been busy in the kitchen today, getting a few things done. I've got some green tomato salsa made, and oh, it's delicious. It's Taco Tuesday around here, so it will be used tonight on nachos. And now I have some, if you hear some noise, I have my canner. It's starting to heat up and come to pressure. I am pressuring some French fries, 7 pints of French fries. And now I am working on slicing up my onions to put into my crock pot here. And it's going to be for caramelizing onions. I did this the first time. It is so easy. It just pretty much does all the work itself. I put them in there around 6, 7 o'clock at night, and they're ready, and I put them on low, and they're ready by the time I get up in the morning. It is just such an easy thing to do. They're ready, and I can can them after I get done with my morning clients. So, last time I think I got 5 half pints from two 2-pound bags, I want to say. I could be wrong. So that's what I figure I'll get this time. This is just the 1 bag I'm working on now. Usually the 2-pound bags will sufficiently fill it to where the lid will just barely go on. It does cook down as they cook because they do lose a lot of moisture, but I can only fit so many in initially, and I don't want to add them after the fact and them not all be cooked the same. So I just go ahead and just do what I can in the beginning and go from there. The hardest part about this job is cutting the onions, trying not to cry. So I'm going to get those put in here and get the other bag cut up, get them all put in here, and then I'll bring you back, show you what it looks like and what the next step is before we actually get it cooking. As you can see, I have all the onions now. It took the entire two bags of 2 pounds each, and I guess my lid will go on, just barely. And that's what happened last time. So now I need to add about 1/4 of a stick of butter to it. I added a little bit too much last time, so I'm just going to add just a little bit because they say to use a whole stick in an 18-quart roaster, and so I definitely am not going to use that much. Put that in there. I'll put the lid on, plug it in, of course. And turn it on low. Now it's on autopilot until in the morning, and I'll bring you back then and show you what it looks like when it's done. Oh, and I saved a whole bowl of my onion peels. I put them in a bag in the freezer. I'm getting ready to do some chicken broth and some vegetable broth, and that'll come in real handy for that. Make it absolutely delicious. I may take you along on that when I do that too. Okay. First off, please excuse the splatters on my apron. I've been cleaning some this morning and I got a little bit carried away. So it's going to go into the wash as soon as I'm done with the canning today. It's the next morning. As you remember, we cut up and put our onions into our crock pot yesterday. See if I can get you a little bit better angle on this. And they have been going for about 15 hours on low. They are a beautiful golden caramelized color. And now we are going to can them up. Let's see if I can show you what they look like without making too much of a mess. Beautiful color. So now we'll go ahead and we will can them up. I have my jars warming in the toaster oven. I have my canner. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold. I have my canner warmed up. I'll be putting hot onions into hot jars, so they'll have to go into a hot canner. I will take them out one by one as I need them. I'm going to try and pack these down in here the best I can as I go. You are needing to leave a 1-inch headspace. I only can my caramelized onions when I start canning them in half pint jars because it's just me, and that's about all I can use at one time. I'll use some on hamburger, and then I'll use some in maybe spaghetti sauce or breakfast omelet or something like that. So, I mean, a quart I would waste. I wouldn't use enough. Okay, so there's our headspace. You need to always remember to wipe your rims with vinegar on a cloth. You don't want to go to all this work and have something stand between your seal and your jar and your seals not work. So make sure to always wipe that. Let me take my lid off my canner. It's starting to warm up now. I don't want it to get too carried away. I always warm my lids. I still warm my lids even though they say you don't need to. That's how I learned, so that's how I do it. Place the lid on. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have debubbled that first. I'm sorry. I always forget debubbling on the first one. I don't know what it is. I know it has to be done, but for some reason I forget. And I'm going to have to re-wipe it just to make sure that I didn't have any splash over. Now, put my lids on. Ring on finger tight. And look how beautiful color that is. And it will deepen even more once it's canned. And into the canner the first one goes. I can't remember how many I got first go around with the 2 2-pound bags of onions that I fixed. I'm thinking it was 4, maybe 5 half pints, but we'll find out this time. makes its own delicious broth. I had some left over last time. Enough broth to can up. Just the broth. I'm going to try it in rice or pasta, or maybe add it to a soup. This, since winter's here, would be great for a soup. I think the best thing for me to do is kind of debubble as I go. Okay, 1 inch headspace. Well, 1 inch headspace. Wipe my rings. Wipe my rims. I'm about to lose my voice. Place my lid and my ring, if it'll go on, fingertip tight. And into the canner that one goes. So I'll go ahead and finish these and bring you back when they're done and show you how they look when they're in the canner. I had enough for 6 half pints of the onions. I was just shy of a 7th one, so it's in the refrigerator. It's going to be used this week in meals. I'm not going to let it go to waste. And because I have a 2-quart minimum before running the canner for it to be able to get up to pressure the way it needs to, I have added a 1 pint of water. I do store water here just in case I can't get out to get it, so this will come in handy in my pantry. Now I'm going to put the lid on. I have checked my vent hole. I have checked my seal. Make sure all of that is in working order. I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm going to increase the temperature until it starts venting here from the vent hole. Once it locks down and starts venting, I will let it vent for 10 minutes, and then I will add the weight on. Now our canner, the bobble has popped up here, which means it's locked in. And as you can see, it is vigorously venting here. So we will set our timer for 10 minutes, let that fully vent, and then we will come back. The timer's gone off, so it has vented enough. So I'm going to put my weight on. I use a 10-pound weight for where I live. And once I get my first vigorous jiggle, I will turn the temperature down. We've got our jiggle, so I'm going to turn it down to medium. I will need to pressure them at the same time as you would pints, even though they're half pints, which would be 70 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 60, because that's as high as it'll go. And then I'll have to do it for 10 more minutes after that. And I will... And there we have it. 6 half pints of caramelized onions, fresh from the canner, still bubbling and hot. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed watching me make the caramelized onions, and maybe you'll try them for yourself and add them to your pantry. As always, please like, subscribe, and share, and blessings from our homestead to your family. We hope to see you again. Bye now.